Hey, I am back. Sorry there was no video last week. I couldn't make it out to the comic shop. Well, it was personal issues. You'll understand, right? Apparently Matt couldn't make it either. I don't know what his deal is. But this is the Southern California Comics Weekly Video Update. I am Danny, and I'm here to talk to you about comics. Stuff came out this week. You know the drill. I'm going to tell you about some of the notable stuff, and some stuff I liked, because, you gotta balance it. Work and play, etc. Yeah. Because I was out last week, and get to talk about any comics with you. I miss it. Last week brought us New 52 Future's End #1. #0 came out on Free Comic Book Day. That was like the prologue, the part that, it was like the setup for the whole series, pretty much. #1 came out last week. Pretty good, pretty decent. I enjoyed it. #2 is out. It's a weekly series. It's gonna run I think I read 48 issues weekly. It's a whole team of writers. It's 52 style. Whole team of writers doing it. Different artists every issue. Refresh it, keep everyone on their toes. Yeah, I'm into the series, or at least I'm into picking it up and reading it, because it's all about the second stringers, who are the most fun to read about. That's what made 52 so great. You got Batman Beyond, you got, I think Omac's in this, Grifter, Firestorm. They introduced King Faraday, so they're going into some few deeper cuts. I don't know where it's going yet. Right now it's got kind of a Terminator plot, because Batman Beyond's come 5 years from now. Well, he's come from the future to 5 years from now to kill somebody, to save the future. But there's also all sorts of what happens 5 years from now kind of superhero antics. You find out what everyone's up to. Pretty interesting. Green Arrow has his beard again. Just had to wait 5 years, you guys. Just in 5 years from now, he will have the beard. That'd be like season 7 of Arrow on the CW, I believe. I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a few months, see how it pans out. I hope it's good. Another thing I know is good, because I read the first issue. All New Ultimates #2 is out. This is the Ultimate Avengers, except now they're teens and they fight weird gangs in New York City. So that's up my alley. It's got really nice neon colors. It's got really interesting casts, like Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Cloak and Dagger. Spider-Woman is now Black Widow, someone called Bombshell. It's a cool, street gang fighting comic. I'm really into it. I'm really excited to read #2. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to recommend it based on #1 alone. Also out this week, new #2. It's the all #2s week here at Southern California Comics, because The Field is out, which is by Ed Brisson and Simon Roy. It's kind of a dark comedy, Odyssey comic. It's like a Coen Brothers movie. Just this dude wakes up in the field with nothing but a cell phone. Some stranger picks him up. They go on a little journey. It's pretty weird. I don't know where it's going. I'm really excited, because it's fun. And it is not weekly. That is monthly. You guys read Jupiter's Legacy yet? Because I think it's kind of good. I know a lot of people complain about Mark Millar, and rightfully so in a lot of ways, but he's really good at working with certain artists, and Frank Quitely is he's done some of his most entertaining work with Frank Quitely. They did The Authority together, and that was super duper funny and gross and awesome. But Jupiter's Legacy, it's about the legacy heroes, the children of the old superheroes. They're kind of scummy, but also some of the older superheroes are kind of corrupt. Yeah, we have a giant-size edition with the first 3 issues for $3.99, but we also have #4. So, pay $4, you get the first 3 issues of Jupiter's Legacy. An extra $3 gets you #4, so you can just jump in and get started. It's good, great art. Story's pretty interesting. It keeps getting better as it goes along, and once you get past the setup, more stuff starts happening. It's got a little bit of the Incredibles vibe, which, I don't know, maybe, I feel like Mark Millar saw the Incredibles lately, because Starlight has the same thing going on, but I dig that too. So, I like the Incredibles, I like Jupiter's Legacy, I like Starlight. Should marathon all of that. I guess the biggest release this week is Justice League United #1. Formerly known as Justice League Canada, but I guess that wasn't going to sell in America, so Justice League United, because, you know, they're united, like, unlike any other Justice League, right? Yep, it's Jeff Lemire and Mike McKone. Nice little pairing of creative team there. It's got Stargirl, Martian Manhunter, Adam Strange, Green Arrow, Animal Man, and someone whose name I keep forgetting. One of those, I made them up for this book kind of characters. It's pretty entertaining, like, you know, solid superhero stuff. Here's the thing though, you have to buy #0, because #0 is actually part 1 of the story, and the actual #1 is part 2, which, look, I know it's confusing. I'd like to apologize on behalf of whoever came up with that idea, because it's not a great idea. But just pretend, just add a 1 to everything. #0 is #1. #1 is #2. And Jupiter's Legacy Giant Size #1 is actually 1 through 3. #4 is #4. Very confusing, right? But these are the hoops we have to jump through as comics fans, I suppose. Well, you just have to know about it. I have to tell you about it. I hope I helped you there, because if I were a casual reader, I'd be very confused. But sorry, I got distracted. Can we talk about Adam Strange's costume and how really cool it is? Like, no one's really discussed it, but it's a really cool update. Really simple color scheme. Nice silhouette, I suppose. I am into it. And I'm not an Adam Strange super fan or anything. I like when he shows up. If he doesn't show up, I don't miss him. But he's in here, and that's a selling point for me. Adam Strange and Animal Man together again for the first time in the New 52. Hey, all right, time for New Thing. Guys ready for New Thing? Let's do it. Whoa, New Thing in the same exact spot. How about that? So, I've been thinking about, I don't know if you've heard of them, Marvel Comics. Yeah, they make movies about them now. But I've been thinking about them lately because, like, they have a lot of solo superhero titles. Teams are, I don't think team books are as popular as they were before, but I realized that their solo titles are really distinct and really interesting, and I either read a bunch and I want to read even more of them. So I'm gonna run down some of the ones that just caught my eye today. For example, Daredevil. Daredevil's the same as it's been for the past couple years. Mark Waid, Chris Samney, really great stylish art. Sort of a Batman the Animated Series kind of vibe. And these days he's in San Francisco, just because he got disbarred in New York because, you know, Daredevil didn't have it bad enough. So he's gone to San Francisco, where he also has a law degree, I suppose, and he's getting set up there, doing his thing, getting accustomed to the ways of the left coast, where we all live, right? Hi, internet. Yeah, it's a really entertaining read. Like I read my friend's copy, and I wish I bought it month to month, because it's such like a solid, substantial read. Also, Iron Patriot, aka the guy from the movie. Yep, James Rhodes is back, and he is in Captain America Iron Man armor. It's by Alice Coate, who also does Secret Avengers, which is more comedic, more lighthearted, even though, like, people get shot in the hand. You see the giant hole? Yeah. But Iron Patriot's a little bit more deliberately paced, a little slower. It's like a secret agent ops kind of comic, which is Alice Coate's thing now these days. That said, like, it's got a really nice style, like super heavy on like inks and stuff, and really clever use of the armor in battle. I believe this is the one. Yes, this is the one where Rhodey basically uses the armor as a bullet to kill a giant monster. we've talked about it before, but it always bears repeating, because that's awesome. Cyclops. Now, comics are confusing. This is the Cyclops who time traveled from the past, from the teenage days of the X-Men in All New X-Men. He's gone in space for reasons that I don't know, because I don't actually read X-Men these days. It comes and goes for me, but like, yeah, it's a spacefaring comic featuring Cyclops hanging out with his dad, Corsair, who's a space pirate. And as a teen, he didn't know his dad was a space pirate, so it's like, whoa, what happened here? I better find out and go to space and hang out with my dad, who, like, chills with cat people. So he's the coolest dude on the planet, even though his son is Cyclops. I guess Havoc has his moments. I like Cyclops a lot, actually. I'm just playing to my audience, I suppose. And, yeah, it's just like an all-ages space adventure, really fun, kind of Star Wars-y. Like, I never thought Cyclops needed a solo series, because he leads the X-Men. What does he need time alone for? He doesn't seem to enjoy it. But they gave a Cyclops a solo series, and it's really cool. Like, it's unexpectedly good. That's by Greg Rucka and Richard Dodderman. It's not Russell Dodderman, because I would have said his name wrong. Speaking of X-Men, All New Dupe, #1. Now, this is actually a miniseries and not an ongoing, and it's about Dupe, so yeah, one of my favorite characters from X-Force/X-Statix. It's got a really, it should be drawn by Mike Allred, but it's not. It's done by David LaFuente, and it's got I like how he draws Dupe, really nice, like kind of cartoonish style, really nice and animated. It was a little confusing for me because it takes place in the background of Battle for the Atom, which I did not read, but I understood this well enough to enjoy what was going on. Stuff going on behind the scenes in a crossover, whatever. All New Ghost Rider is dope. It's also takes place in California and East LA, and Ghost Rider is now a different dude. He drives a muscle car instead of a motorcycle, which I didn't know I wanted, but I really like it. And like, the art has a really great energy to it. Like, check that out. Like, just a dude emoting is so, like, so energetic. And, you know, when they punch, that's even crazier. Yep, it's got monsters. He fights monsters. His skull kind of takes the shape of a motorcycle, which is really neat. Like, check that out. Yeah, the art is by Tradd Moore, who did Luther Strode a couple years ago. It's written by Felipe Smith, who's like a manga guy. Like an American guy who just did manga in Japan for a few years, which is crazy, but back in America, I suppose, and doing a Ghost Rider comic, which is weird, but like, again, really distinct characters. Like, such a diverse array of characters happening in the Marvel solo titles right now. Moon Knight is also a thing. Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey, Jordi Belair on colors. It's really great. It's like, it's got kind of a serial killer of the week kind of vibe. Like your Hannibals, your Luthers, whatever. Yeah. And it's a self-contained story every week, which I love. Like, check this out. This is the one where Moon Knight punches ghosts, and he does indeed punch them. Like, the colors are really great, right? Like, the white and the green, like, super duper cool. Like, there aren't many comics that look like this, except for ones colored by Jordi Belair, who colors a lot these days, but she's in a class by herself. And yo, Moon Knight wears the most baller armor to fight these ghosts. How cool is that? This is so good. I love it a lot. And it's like, that's not even his normal armor. Normally he wears a cool suit instead of his hood stuff, which I like that too. It's very Warren Ellis-y to wear all white. Like, there's always someone in his comics who does that, and the main guy, Moon Knight, does that too. That said, that's actually not my favorite Marvel book coming out right now. My actual favorite is She-Hulk. That's written by Charles Soule, who's actually a lawyer by education, so She-Hulk's a lawyer. It's a match made in heaven. Like, the art is by Javier Pulido, who used to do, who's done some Hawkeye, done some Daredevil. It's really great style, like, really nice layouts. Like, I almost read this book for the art, but the writing's really, really good too, because with his lawyer training, Charles Soule knows his stuff, so, like, it feels like it was written by someone who knows what they're talking about, which, I don't know, it feels kind of rare in comics. Usually you just Google and, you know, see what you find, but he knows his stuff. And in this one, to help out Doctor Doom's son, she goes to San Francisco and hangs out with Daredevil, so it's got a really nice crossover thing going on. It's not like heavy on the crossover element. He only kind of shows up in the corner of the cover. But, like, why am I telling you about She-Hulk hanging out with some blind guy? Because she fights a giant Doombot, and that's awesome. Just fights a giant robot that looks like Doctor Doom. It's really funny, really entertaining. She-Hulk, quality book. Like, I had a different thing to say about all of those books, except that they're good. Like, ignoring that part, like, each one's different. Like, that's crazy. Like, and they're all superhero books at heart. Like, you could do a lot with that medium. Just tweak a few things, and it's a brand new story. I like superheroes a lot, you guys, and you probably do too, since you're watching a video about them. So, come by the shop, pick some of these up. I don't know how well they're doing in sales, like, overall, but you should come by, check them out, buy some stuff. They're all really good. All right. I'll see you next week. Hopefully Matt will be here. I will be here because I own the camera. See you.